Oops. So, these are in no particular order. Okay, so this first one is called White Boy, and that's boy with an I. I've never been into white boys. Well, I had a crush on one in 5th grade. I wrote 7 journal entries starring him. We were really close. I decided to make him my first boyfriend. He dated Kelsey. She was also very white. And my first boyfriend, 4 years later, was white. The weirdo wanted to marry me, so I broke up with him. My fiancé was white. That didn't work out. My first crush was white. During story time, I tried to scoot closer to him on the rug. I put my 5-year-old paw over his and squeezed. He slapped my hand and crawled away. You'd think I would have learned my lesson, but go figure. The guy I'm dating now is white. So though Sam is outside and is clearly not a 16-year-old girl, for some reason I have these very sexually tense interactions with 16-year-old girls as of late. I'm totally not a pedophile. I don't know why these things are happening. But anyhow, this is about my friend's daughter. She's a sweetheart. It's called A Slice of You. She warmed up 2 slices of leftover pizza and served me on a white plate bordered with pink rings that rang in harmony with her voice as she sang, "Here you go." Now I melt with the cheese. Although it's cheesy to say, this house mouse is glad she chose to stay in this house just one more day. It's called Broken Neck. Face scorching, body aflame, I wanted to hit her. She looked at me, eyes wide, body sinking uneasily into my mom's floral print couch. Her head lifted, her mouth opened, her lips moved deliberately. She had no permission to speak. I chose not to hear her. Through the stinging of my eyes, I could see her smiling. The same smirk she must have worn as she watched him take his last breath. Her song was out of key, but I tuned into her dissonance. She, of course, insisted it was an accident. She and the neighbor boy were merely moshing, a musicless mosh, and mashed right into the guitar, sitting in the corner. Folly fell from her fat lips, every drop followed by the sickening, sweet bubblegum laughter that popped relentlessly in my ear. I don't care much for sweets. You're not funny, I told her. I don't know if it was the way she slapped her thigh when she said it, or the pleading in her tone, or the desperation in her face, but something in the way she burst, "Yes, I am!" made me break, and I couldn't stop laughing. This poem is dedicated to Mikey and Lloyd, though I thought of neither of them when I wrote this. Paint. I'd like you to paint me. Rather, I'd like you to paint on me. I'd like him to watch. I want him to draw you painting me. I'd like to be an apparition in this particular drawing, for my shape to be undefined and free to move, because when I'm being painted on, I'll have to stay perfectly still. I will keep my eyes closed, except when you paint my face, because I'd like to see your brushes move, but I want to be surprised about what you're painting. As trickles of paint meet the chill from the window, I know you'll see the prickles on my skin and warm the room from within. He'll close the window as you turn on more lights. Then you'll ask if I'm all right. I'll smile, and you'll know to continue. When you're done painting and your brushes are no longer on me, I'd like him to take a picture. 3, if you'd like. I don't believe too many more than 1 will be required. I don't know if any of you know who Noah and the Whale is, but it's a band. And this title comes from one of their song lyrics. It's called, "If There's Any Love in Me, Don't Let It Show." 3. I saw the way you looked at her last night. She wouldn't even glance your way. Why do you do that to yourself? When she wasn't around, I grabbed you by the collar and told you not to get with abusive dames. Sorry if I scared you. I scared myself. 1. I bought new body wash today. The scent reminded me of you. The honey mango danced around my nose the way your cat paws around my lap. I'm allergic to mango. And your cat. I hope you don't mind the smell, but I don't wish you to like it. Either way, I won't be testing its effect on your nose tonight. 2. I was in the middle of sending you a text message when your name appeared as an incoming call. I answered it and tried to sound as relaxed and friendly as possible. But it was just your tush calling me. He did that last time we had class. I don't mind. And if my bottom had a mind of her own, I'm sure she'd call you back. Sequel. As soon as I let go, you reach out and ask for more. You like yourself when you're around me. No one has ever kissed you that way. You realized you're in love now. Thank you for the moment of hilarity. But I've never been big on sequels, so I don't care to know how we play out. So, many months ago, I dyed my hair red, and it faded and looked terrible because I couldn't afford the shampoo that keeps it really, really red. Then I came to Ronnie, and he fixed it. So, thank you, Ronnie. This poem's called Red. Yeah. Red. Because it's Tuesday. Because you said I was fiery. Because I am fiery. Because I'm no longer convinced that perfection can be dictated by the virginity of one's hair. My dad is a well-meaning sociopath who I love dearly, but I'm not on speaking terms with right now. And though this poem doesn't exactly prove his insanity, it's about something he tried to teach me once. No man can serve 2 masters, she can hear her father say. So she praises the colors at sundown and curses the break of day. No girl can serve 2 masters, and yet she'll kneel and pray, after lying to her father about how she spent her day. So I'm always really impressed by features who, come up and they just have so many poems underneath their belt, and they've got all these chapbooks, and they're like, hey, I wrote this when I was in my early 20s, and I was thinking about this woman, yesterday I figured I'd read this in her honor. So I was thinking, well, I want something cool that I wrote a million years ago. But all I could think of was some stuff that I wrote about 13 years ago in a book of my own. So, ladies and gents, my 5th grade journal. So these are just a few excerpts. Sorry if they feel incomplete. I'll read 2. Today, I totally realized that I am Julie's friend. Also, the only reason everyone hates me is because I'm so educated, and sophisticated, as they put it. Anyways, I'm also realizing that every girl likes Emmanuel. It's like a law. I was never good at following social norms, so this is about the person who I liked. Obviously not Emmanuel. Okay. It was my first time in a hotel, and it was awesome. I liked calling the front desk, and going swimming in the pool, and going in the jacuzzi. I have to tell you that I spelled jacuzzi with a G. And after I put in parentheses HYSI, which I started using all throughout my journal, it stood for however you spell it. I spelled however wrong. Anyhow, I kept thinking of Holden. In fact, the white boy from the previous I used this book and took tons of tests. Sure enough, we're perfect for each other. I already knew he was perfect, but I never knew that we were perfect. No one ever listens to me. I guess that's why I love to read and write and talk. Something this poem, if you haven't taken chocolate yet, please take chocolate sometime during tonight. This poem is called please pass the plate around. This poem is called At the House of Plenty. 4 dark morsels, one at a time, because good Adriennes know how to make it last. She looks past her broken pieces and into the pantry. 2 boxes filled with unopened, unbroken chocolate. She looks back at her bits, grabs the last 3 pieces, puts them on her tongue, and smiles. I like food, I hadn't noticed. This poem's called Hungry. If I tell you I'm hungry, you'll tell me to eat. Men, always trying to fix things. But I'm hungry for much more than food. I miss your laughter and want to feast on your words. My palate is ready for the sound of your voice, cueing me into what you were doing this week, and how it compares to the plan you didn't keep last week. You thought she'd be boring, so you skipped out, but this week is fresh with opportunities. So let's season your week's end with concerts in the park and lots of walks with lots of art. I don't usually have a tooth for sweets, but it'd be such a fucking treat to see you smile from across the table. So if you're able, next time I tell you I'm hungry, please don't tell me to eat. Instead, let me know where you'd like to meet. I'm shy about doing this, but it was suggested by a few people that I sing for you, so I will do so now.
Yay!
Yay! Alright.
Oh man, she's gonna suck. This is gonna be bad.
I didn't have a name for the song, but recently I decided to name it 16 to 19, because that's the time period I wrote it in.
See something where I don't see something, and do you see me?